Don't this hit make my people wanna? Don't this hit make my people wanna? Don't this hit make my people wanna? Don't this hit make my people?
And now, the Western Conference. Welcome back to AIMEzing Words, ladies and gentlemen. Having a little fun with my voice here, and now I want to talk about the Western Conference and talk about the fact that this conference is so deep, and the off-season moves in the West are just, I don't know. You know, every basketball fan has to be excited to see what you're going to see from the Los Angeles Clippers. It's just, you got Lance, you add Josh Smith. They're all playing with Chris Paul. You brought in Paul Pierce. It's just, it has literally the biggest high risk, high reward that you can ask for when it comes to the NBA. You know, obviously LaMarcus Aldridge leaving Portland, going to San Antonio. Basically, he turned Portland from like a team you can ink in for the playoffs to a team they're not going to the playoffs. You got to feel bad for Damian Lillard. He's going to be exposed for how good he really is, and to be honest, he's not even that high level of an elite point guard. I know he's young, but he's at the point of his career where his team is going to struggle, and his numbers may struggle the most. His numbers are going to be the most glaring things. Never been he's been a high volume shooter, but we're not going to talk about, you know, teams that won't make the playoffs. As I said before, I'm over the whole seeding thing. It's just I haven't been very accurate. So I want to talk about three teams that we really need to look out for in the Western Conference. And, you know, let's start it with the second best player in the world, the 2014 MVP, the best scorer in the league, Kevin Durant and Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't understand the logic behind people who really think that OKC can't work when they have two of the five best players in the world. First time in almost over 40 years, I believe. It's the first time in about 40 years that a team had back-to-back scoring title winners and they were two different players. That's a remarkable company. You got Kevin Durant coming back healthy with Russell Westbrook, with Enes Kanter. Serge Ibaka comes back healthy. You got Dion Waiters coming off the bench. DJ Augustine coming off the bench. Andre Robertson, who's perfect. He just plays defense and runs the floor. You still got Perry Jones. You still got Nick Collison. Mitch McGary proved that he could play well this year. OKC's a team to watch. They are scary good because if you give two of the five best players in the world, if you give Shaq and Kobe some guys that know how to play their role, they three-peat and they go to 4 finals. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that KD is Shaq level or Russ is Kobe level. I'm just saying two guys that good dominating the league are scary to watch. I spent too much time on OKC. Then we want to move on to Houston, who adds Ty Lawson. You think about Monachunas coming back off the injury. I know I just butchered his name, but their 4-man that can shoot. Young player that is very good. Donatas Monachunas, I believe is his name. He's coming back off the injury. You saw how Terrence Jones evolved last year. You still bring back Jason Terry. You still got Patrick Beverly coming off your bench, but you added Ty Lawson. Dwight Howard had a summer to heal up. And then you got James Harden saying he's the best player in the world. He's deserved MVP, and he's going to play with a lot of edge and spunk. He doesn't have to play point guard 24/7. Houston's going to be really scary. Houston is a team, they got to the conference finals last year, and it's like, do you really want to say that San Antonio is that much better than Houston when you know that San Antonio's biggest kryptonite has been James Harden? That's why OKC beat them back in 2012. On to the other team, the Los Angeles Clippers. Can you really say that adding LaMarcus Aldridge to the Spurs makes the Spurs better than the Clippers when the Clippers add Paul Pierce, Lance Stevenson, and Josh Smith? Like, the Clippers really went out and said, you know what? We want to go get LeBron James irritants and some toughness. That's what we want to bring to our team. All the Clippers needed was somebody who could play the three. Now, Josh Smith, Paul Pierce, Lance Stevenson can all get torched by Kevin Durant in a series. But who wants to go up against the Clippers? Because you still got Blake and you still got DeAndre. There's so many different lineups they can run. They could put Blake at the 5, Josh Smith at the 4. They could put Paul Pierce at the 4. They can have Lance with Chris Paul. You know, their defensive lineup is going to be crazy when you got Lance at the 2 with Chris Paul, and then you still have JJ Redick, you still have Austin Rivers, and I forgot to mention Jamal Crawford. I don't understand how anybody could think that the Spurs can be inked in. I don't even think I could put OKC inked in because the Clippers are going to have something to say. Chris Paul, you know, he's second all time in assist percentage. This year, his assist percentage may go down, but it's only going to benefit more because he's playing with better players.
Chris Paul, well, yeah,
Can't wait. I can't wait to see this NBA season. Player to watch, you know, maybe it's a little cliche to go with Kevin Durant, but he only played 27 games last year. And I think a lot of people forgot how good Kevin Durant really is. Kevin Durant really is, you know, the thing that separates Kevin Durant and LeBron James right now is 2 championship rings. And that's it. You take away LeBron's 2 championship rings, if he doesn't have any championships, nobody in this world would really say, oh, LeBron James is head and shoulders the best player in the world. Because you would say, some would say Kevin Durant, some would say LeBron. Just keep that in mind, people. Kevin Durant's coming back to have a great season. I think if Russell Westbrook can carry the load and KD becomes a closer or vice versa, either way, OKC is going to be dangerous, and I think KD is going to be the main reason. And there's always a best player on a bad team. Mind you, this might be the year that the Sacramento Kings actually get to the playoffs because you got Rajon Rondo, you got Rudy Gay. But the track record says DeMarcus Cousins is really, really emotional. Talented. Out of this world talented. I personally said during the draft, I said I would take DeMarcus Cousins over Blake Griffin. Or I'm not sure if they came out in the same class right now. But both those, in their younger days, I would have picked DeMarcus Cousins. I thought he was more talented. He could do more for your team than Blake Griffin, and he was bigger. But he's so emotional. He has yet to prove that he can make it through a season without going through high emotions. And now he's going to be playing with Rajon Rondo, who we watched last year, basically said, I don't even care about the money I can make, because all he had to do was win 1 series for the Mavericks, and he would have had a huge payday this summer. I got to say that DeMarcus Cousins will be the best player on a bad team, and I just hope this year they're good enough by All-Star break that he makes the All-Star game, because, you know, the guy's just too talented. And as far as my conference finals go, this is where it gets really interesting. In the West, you go a little bit longer on the West because you realize that the Western Conference is really that deep. It's really that good. There are 4 main teams in the Western Conference. There's the Golden State Warriors, the reigning NBA champions, the San Antonio Spurs, the best model organization in the NBA. There's the Los Angeles Clippers, and then there's OKC. Do you go with the best players? Do you go with the better team? Do you go with the more experienced team? Do you go with the team that's fresh off a chip? You know, I love the fact that we got somebody like Steph Curry in the game. You know, best shooter, I think, of all time. Definitely the best shooter in my generation, but Steph won't be in the conference finals this year. I'm going, we're going to see the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I know everybody's going to look at me and say, oh, you're not really taking a risk. But I'm saying we're going to see the Los Angeles Clippers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think Russ and Chris Paul have elements of their game that are better than Steph Curry's, although Steph has his elements that are better. Then I think about KD. I think about Blake. Would I take Blake Griffin over LaMarcus Aldridge? Yes. Would I take DeAndre Jordan over Tim Duncan? All time? After we watched that series? You know, Tim Duncan ended last year with 27-11. What do you do? Tony Parker seemed a little unhealthy, got to rest a little bit. Did you really want to bet against them? I'm going to do it. You know, the Clippers add Paul Pierce. You got somebody like Lance Stevenson. My biggest question for the Los Angeles Clippers is Doc Rivers. It's not even about their roster. It's Doc Rivers. Can he handle the Eagles on that roster? Either way, I'm going with Clippers, Thunder in the Western Conference Finals. And you know what? We got a lot to stay tuned to, people. Thanks for tuning in this one, though. Keep on watching. Keep on